Hello and happy Thursday, coming at you live here at Insight Production Studios in Phoenix, Arizona. My name is Robert Morales with my co-host, Kelsey Rognes.
Hello.
And we are from Our CEO Network. Our CEO Network, good people, better business, discovering the best of you.
So for the next hour, we are going to be talking to a very special guest of ours about his life, about his business, and all this workspace stuff. We will also be taking questions from the audience. Type in the questions and comments that you might have for us or for our special guests in the section below during the broadcast. We'll answer them as we get them. If you're watching us live, give us a heart emoji because we love the loves. And if you're watching us on replay, give us a wow because, wow, I cannot believe you're not watching us live.
Okay, so go ahead and like us here on Facebook, but follow us on Our CEO Network and Instagram, LinkedIn. Also head over to ourceonetwork.com for more information about marketing your business and sponsorships during these broadcasts. So hello, Ms. Rognes. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. Just getting ready and prepping for today's show. And, you know, we talked a little bit about our next guest and kind of what we're here to talk about. We met at a local karaoke place. Correct? You do some karaoke on the side?
I've been known to do some karaoke for a bit.
So the fun fact is that, you know, I met Kelsey at a karaoke place because I do like singing and stuff. And when we started talking, you know, just normal, and found out she was a lender. She does home loans. And then I, of course, you guys know me, I do real estate as my main business. But that sense of collaboration, that sense of, you know, that moments that you have typically happen either, you know, at a bar like we did or at a workspace, you know, or people you work with. And so our next guest really, you caught my attention because we kind of have the same mantra, you know, working in collaboration is really the key parts of what our business structures are. And so our next guest has some, you know, stuff he does that he'll kind of explain about, but his business is workspace and sharing and having those moments, I think, really more than I can really describe to you. But with that said, I'm going to find his intro somewhere around here. I got lost in space.
Hey,
Dan, where's your stuff? This is what happens all the time. So
well, I mean, just to touch on what you were talking about with, you know, meeting people, you know, you might meet someone at a bar, you might meet somebody at the office, and you either click as friends or as colleagues or anything like that. And that's just such a big part of networking and being around other people.
That's absolutely right, Ms. Rognes. So I did find my notes somewhere. Look at that, right here. They're coming up.
Oh.
So for our next guest, he has a bachelor's degree in business administration from Georgetown University. He has an MBA in finance marketing from Northwest University. He has been the owner and managing partner of 7 businesses, one of which is a chain of Blockbusters, which I'm very inquisitive about, and we'll be talking about later. He's also the founder and owner of Workuity. Please welcome Mr. Dan Kite. Hello, Dan. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me. Thrilled to be on.
An audience gets out of hand sometimes. We got to calm down. So yes, if you could give us a little brief synopsis of what Workuity is, and we'll get into talking.
Sure. You know what I love about what you guys are doing, and why I was so happy to come on, was Workuity is all about connections. We are a shared workspace. We are a space that can host up to 180 companies simultaneously. And we spend a lot of time introducing people to one another. But on the highest of level, we are a large workspace. You can think of a Regis on steroids, done extraordinarily well with a lot of meeting places and a lot of simplicity, where we hold a lot of events. And like the events that you have at our CEO, they're just a bunch of people coming together. Companies will bring their own people in. We let it be everybody's party. And we open up our place after hours. We've got a big event space, and we have a really good time. So anyway, thanks for having me here. I really do appreciate it, and hope that a lot of people will come and check out what this new type of shared workspace is all about. Because if you're a small business guy or gal, it is really worth the time. And people pick up business, and they pick up a lot of business just by being there.
That's awesome. I think Kelsey had a question here.
Well, I actually just wanted to know, do you go by Dan or you go by Daniel? I know most of your stuff's a Daniel, but I noticed you call yourself
Yeah,
Dan.
actually, I go by Dan.
Okay.
Daniel
I knew
actually
it.
always kind of throws me off. It makes me think about other formal things, and I just like to be Dan.
We
Don't
were
we
talking
all?
about it actually yesterday when we were preparing, and I was like, is it Daniel or is it Dan? I probably should ask.
That was the
Yeah, well,
topic of
if I knew
discussion.
you 10 years ago, it would have been Danny. So, you know, it's a good question.
No, that's awesome. And you know, usually we troll and we go through people's Facebooks, we go through people's LinkedIn stuff to find, you know, the kind of more personal stuff that they're either involved in or not so involved in. And you know, I had a hard time finding stuff about you. Is it beneficial not to be on Facebook or to share too much stuff about yourself?
Well, it is. That's a very interesting thing. A very interesting thing. I wouldn't say it's a strategy. Workuity, we like to present. I'm a very, actually a very humble guy. I've done a lot of things. I've had a lot of great successes, a lot of great failures, and I don't like necessarily to have my personal life spill out there online. But I will tell you, you know, I do have a wonderful family. I have 2 kids and a dog, of course. You got to have those. And, you know, I do all sorts of things from golf to computers. I am the ultimate geek. You can ask me any question about it. So I do a little bit of all, but if I'm hiding, I'm hiding. But I try to make sure that my business profile is very, very readily accessible. There's so many different things that I've done in my background, and I'm not one who loves to go around talking about it. So at least from a LinkedIn perspective, I get a chance to get out there a bit.
All right, so super important question. What kind of dog do you have?
What? I'm sorry?
What kind of dog do you have? That's
Kelsey's
Oh,
a
I've got
dog
the
person.
best dog. I've got a little mini golden doodle. So
oh,
I have got the sweetest puppy. She just comes up to everybody and licks them to death. So no worry about biting, just licking.
So you have kids and fur babies, I'm guessing.
I do. And I think that the kids are a little harder. I think that's a little bit harder.
It's not so easy to shove them off in the corner when they're crying.
No. And right now mine are 16 and 15. So they're at a very interesting age.
they're going to be driving soon. That was when I was like 15. I was like, I'm going to drive soon. That was the biggest like excitement when I was that age.
Oh yeah, my daughter's out there scaring the heck out of me, but my son doesn't seem all that anxious to do it. I think he likes to spend time with us, which is so awesome because the car is sometimes the best time to actually hear what's going on.
So what's scarier,
Boys aren't as talkative.
What's scarier, starting a business or being in the car with your son learning to drive?
Business is definitely more scary. Now, having the baby as a baby, now that's terrifying because when you have a baby, the baby comes out. Have you guys have children?
No.
No.
Well, if you don't, the baby
Working on it.
comes out and you sit there and you're looking and you're looking and you're waiting and you're waiting and there's no operations manual. So you have no idea what to do and nobody really tells you. So, you know, that's a little more terrifying.
That's the closest I've ever been to children is my dog had puppies. So
And you
there was
watched
no
it?
instruction manual there either.
Right.
Well, luckily the dog feeds the puppies.
That's true.
Not eat them.
No, so you know what I was the amount of information that I did get. You know, I did see what caught my attention and what caught my interest was the chain of blockbusters that you owned back in 86 to 91. I mean that's amazing to me. You know, just I think because of the nostalgia of it. But Kelsey's actually from Minnesota, right, Kelsey?
My family's from Minnesota. I'm not.
Oh, I'm learning stuff as we go along. But she's a Vikings fan.
Well, we'll forgive her.
Oh,
I'm a Packers fan, so
oh boy.
but I'll forgive her.
Oh, sorry,
I'll
Violet.
forgive her.
Violet's a
I'm gonna
Bears
get
fan.
over it. Give me a minute. Don't ask a question. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Oh boy. No, but so the Blockbuster. Did you? I mean, was there ever a point or a discussion like when you first started? Because we're all ambitious when we first get into an idea or a new business venture. Was there ever a thought like, hey, this could be going veering off completely in 180-degree direction? This could go to live stream. And I mean, in 1981, we're not really, or 86, sorry, we're not really thinking of like long-term stuff like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So caught up in the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little bit unusual. I was going to school and it looked like I was going to follow my family into the legal profession, and not actually the legal profession, just getting a degree for some reason. We're all lawyers, nobody practices. And I said, I better find something else to do because I don't want to do that. I'm done studying. And Blockbuster was exploding. One was opening up near me in Chicago, and you're looking around going, man, this is a money machine. You're like, this is the best thing on the planet. So ultimately, I started out at one franchise location in a small town in Wisconsin called Kenosha. It took off, but I was on the ground level. I mean, I was managing it. I built it from the ground up. I did everything. And it was like training wheels for business because it wasn't a particularly complicated one. And you
Yeah.
were walking into a system. So that was great. But ultimately, it was what it was all about back then. And people say, oh, you were in Blockbuster. I'm so sorry. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I was in Blockbuster. I was so happy because I sold not that long after building stores in Wisconsin and Minnesota. So I got out, at what I would say is the very right time, maybe the perfect time. So nobody has to feel bad for me. It actually is nostalgia. The only thing it really does is age me, and that I don't like. You could have used, you had to use those years because we had to know it wasn't a failure. But
Yeah.
thanks a lot.
My parents were reading the instruction manual on me when you owned a block.
That's right. That's right. It sure does.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, Kelsey, do you remember Blockbuster at all? I don't.
Blockbuster. I have a card somewhere. I remember go there and you get the videos, and then you like get the candy because the candy was like right there. So you had to get the candy through the line. They replaced it with, I think it's a game store, the one that we used to go to. It's something different, but it looks just like it looked when it was Blockbuster. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, like a good square box with blue and gold and a few little tweaks here and there. Yeah, but that was a fun business because people were coming in. They're happy to be in there. They're looking for movies. Back then, you didn't turn on TV and see a lot. You had 3 channels. And here you're walking through and you're like, wow, there are 10,000 videos. I have no idea what to do. And, it would matter that you were helping people. One of the precursors to that business for me, though, was I was very fortunate because my family actually was in the movie theater business. So when they found out that I was going to this, they weren't so happy. This was competition,
Boy.
but it just put it in my blood. I mean, I love entertainment to this day. I mean, what we're doing here at Workuity, it still is a little bit about entertainment. It's about an experience. I don't want people to come in and they're walking into a nice space. They say, great, I'm here. I want them to go, man, it's really cool. I'm working at Workuity. You want that experience. You want to do a hotel or a restaurant. Nobody's going to be successful by serving up the same thing that everybody else is serving up and not distinguishing it from one another. You have to. But that was more what Workuity was about to me than anything. It's entertainment. If I wasn't in an environment that I'd have a great time in, I'd rather just not be in the environment at all.
Well, that must be where you got that announcer voice from. When I was working on your video, and actually you'll get to see it in a second. but I like that announcer voice that you do have. It's very projected, very clear. It's, you were nice, and it was fun editing your video. But as we get to our end of our first segment, there's so much more I want to learn about Blockbuster and about the nuances of owning a movie theater. But we have to go to our first sponsor. So, well, actually, not really a sponsor, but you'll see in a second.
I'm a perfectionist that understands that there's no such thing as perfection. I was, as an entrepreneur, sitting alone in an office. I was the owner or the managing partner, but who do I talk to? How do I find out that other people are really in the same boat? Let me create what I wanted, because that's what others are apparently going to want to. When you're doing business, it has to have a purpose. One of those purposes has to be fulfillment. How is what I'm doing affecting people? Here we are, a networking group where everybody wants to get together. It's why we network. We want to learn more. We want to make connections. Hi, my name's Dan Kite, and I'm the CEO of Workuity. And this is our CEO Network.
You know, I had to play that right now.
That was fabulous. I mean, I'll use my radio voice to say thank you very much. But no, that was absolutely fabulous. I appreciate it. And I'm going to get that, I'm sure, via email tonight so that I can use that everywhere, because that was very well done. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Go ahead, Kelsey.
Definitely keep the hearts and wow emojis coming. With anything good you're hearing today, comments and questions are always welcome. So keep everything rolling in.
Yeah, keep those questions coming, and we'll answer them, I guess, offline, because we had some technical difficulties today, and we'll just be posting this on the replay. So that's the way things go, right? You gotta roll with the punches.
There you
It
go.
happens.
So let's actually get back into Workuity. So this is what we're here to talk about in shared workspace. You have been so gracious to offer anybody mentioning our CEO network a 10% discount if they sign on with a workspace, and they go sign a lease agreement with you at Workuity. But let's find out a little bit more about what Workuity is.
Yeah. Well, Workuity, we have one location in Phoenix. We have one location in Chandler. They're a combination of offices, usually shared offices. They're all about companies coming together and collaborating. We've got 60 offices in our Chandler location, 55 in our Biltmore location at 24th and Camelback. We'll call it Phoenix. We'll call it Biltmore. It's a little bit interchangeable. They all have great meeting spaces, great lobbies where people can come in, they can mix and mingle. Of course, we have very high-tech conference rooms, and it's designed for people who want a place for a month, that want a place for a year, or even 2. We even have things like right now, you can buy a package of just office hours. So every month you have a certain number of hours to use, you book it online and you go. And I think in the age of Zoom and the age of dogs sitting next to you and kids learning next to you, that's another particularly good thing. But Workuity, honestly, it's just about having a really cool space to go to work. It's about small companies not feeling like you're all there by yourself, because there's nothing worse than working by yourself or having no one else to talk to. And it's a great environment. And if it's just an office to you, that's fine. That works too. That's the case for a lot of people. But there really is, whatever way people want to work, we definitely have now figured out how to have something for them. So any network member, we are happy to provide a 10% discount too. We are looking all the time for good members, not just necessarily office people, but we come out. We want to do things like this because we want people who want to be a part of a group. You guys aren't, I consider you not to be a networking group, because you really are is a group that just brings together people who become friends, who really get to know each other. And it's a lot more than, hey, I'm coming out, I'm going to have a drink. There are 20 people. I'm going to go coldly up to one or the other. We got a bar, we got all that stuff too, but it's just so that people will come and gather. They'll
I know.
just be together and they'll be at the space. So that's just fantastic.
I know.
So
I was telling Kelsey about the beer you guys have, the beer tap.
yeah, we do, and it got some use. Always a craft beer, you know, everything. Whether a lot of it's from Arizona, but I gotta admit, I sneak in some other stuff that I particularly enjoy. There's the Spotted Cow is always sitting there too. So anyway, that's a lot of fun.
And so Robert mentioned that you mentioned it as well with dogs. You allow dogs in the office, which is just amazing because I love dogs.
Well, I have to be honest with you, I don't. Our
Oh,
buildings themselves actually don't allow them.
oh,
So
Oh,
that's a little bit of an issue. We also, you know, we do try to differentiate ourselves in certain ways. And one of them is by being a place that professionals, and when I say that, I mean people who are accomplished. I want the people who have the money and the people who want the money both in the same space. And to do that, it's not about kids, it's not about sandals as much as you love that. Um, Dogs are a problem because when you have 180 people, somebody's allergic, somebody's scared, you know. But with that said, I'd love to have my dog there, and there are places that do that, and I couldn't even if I wanted to.
oh.
But anyway, it's such a professional environment. It is just one of those things. So, but people do ask that, and I am sorry to say I don't.
I
That is the question.
was Robert on that. So
well, you know,
And Robert, time to think about other places.
well, that was my misunderstanding. So I apologize to Kelsey because she was looking
Hey,
forward
no,
to going and taking a space with her dog there.
that's all right. I got a lot. I don't have everything, so no need to apologize.
No, so like one of the things that caught my attention as far as shared workspace when I first started my LLC, and it's grown since then. But when you first start any kind of company or business entity, most of our small businesses have to file, you know, through the Arizona Corporation Commission, and they don't have a facility. They don't have a place where they have a shop at, and they commonly use their home address. And to be frank and honest, I still have my home address on my LLC, which is not good. You know, it's just not professional, especially if you really, you know, tick somebody off and they come look for you at your home address because it's on the Arizona Corporation Commission. You want a workspace, you want a professional place to go to. And so that's one of the things that I'm looking at, and I haven't signed the lease yet, but I'm going to. I had some questions, and I have so much things I got to do.
So many.
But one of the things I anticipate and I'm really grateful for is to actually have a place to call an office. And for a lot of our small businesses, they can't afford, you know, a big space, or, you know, if they're a real estate agent like myself or a lender like Kelsey, they really can't afford a large space, a smaller shared space. So your prices range. They vary depending on what you have, but what kind of spaces do you have, Dan?
Well, you know, it's interesting you talk about that. What I was originally thinking about when you were talking was the virtual offices, because that is for a lot of people. They need a professional address. They need, when somebody comes looking for them, they need to be on a registry. And sometimes even for marketing purposes, you need an address just because Google won't service you from a home address. That's true of a lot of different things. So we do get that. Any type of member with us does have an address. Their logos are displayed. They're on our building directory. And we have everything from a $225 co-working membership where you're just coming in and out of the space. We have a $100 membership where you're getting that virtual address, but you're also getting 2 hours of conference room time that comes free with it every month. So you get a little bit more. But I think the coolest thing about these virtual offices today, and I got to tell you, there are so many, it was a big surprise to me. We didn't start offering them till we were open at least a year and a half. And now I certainly regret that because that's some nice revenue. But when you come into our place, you're looking for that business, you will get, actually, they'll type in as a visitor, you will get a text and an email saying, hey, I'm right here at the front desk. Or if you get a send mail, you'll get a picture of the envelope, so you know, hey, do I want to come in and get it or not? So there are benefits to virtual offices from our perspective as well, and that kind of goes to that. Hey, you know, what is it that you need to work, right? And I think one of my favorite things that I do say, you know, you get stuck on a few lines. Let's admit it. We're all in business, so you kind of have that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I'm always about, you know, take only the space you need when you need it. So if you are a company that's growing and you take one office and somewhere in the middle of the agreement, you want to move up to 4 offices, but you still want the discount, you get that. But more importantly, let's just say you come in and you have 5 offices and you need to shrink, you can do that too. There is no penalty. And people start from all sorts of different work perspectives, and I see them move through the cycles, and it's so much fun to help people do that. And there just aren't a lot of places where you can commit to something without feeling like, man, I'm stuck. And in today's environment, people are very scared of long-term leases. They're very scared. People going out and renting a big space because they think they're going to grow into it. That's one of the most common mistakes that businesses make. I've made it before. You take the space that you need when you need it, period. So it's a good little sales pitchy thing, but honestly, it is so important. That's just a business tip in general. You know, leases are big, giant liabilities.
So you have month-to-month leases, or how exactly does the contract work, I guess?
Sure. Well, really, we call them membership agreements, you know, which is sort of indicative of the concept, I think. But they're month to month. You can do 6 months, you can do a year, and you can do 2 years. But frankly, we really cap it a year. It's about 10%. You end up with 10 to 15% off, depending on the amount of time that your term is. But it's just simple. You pay, you know what you're going to pay, everything's included. And you're not going to be surprised, and that's key. But it's key to every entrepreneur. I got into this, frankly, as I think you showed briefly on that clip, because this is exactly what I would have wanted when I was starting my businesses. This is just me taking something that I wanted and extrapolating it and building it, and you know, love what you do, I guess, but it's an important thing.
Yeah, you know, and because we've talked offline too, and I think again that's why I've always gravitated towards Workuity, and why it has like a calling to me, because I do sense that. And when you do start, you get marketed all these things about, you know, getting leads and you know, all these different sales pitches. Oh, there's always somebody trying to sell you stuff, you know, and
they always go in the appropriate basket in your email, right?
yeah,
They're
and
like, oh, somebody's selling over there.
yeah, and that's so hard, you know, trying to decipher like who's genuinely trying to help or who's really trying to like make money off of you. And it always seems at the beginning, there's everybody trying to help. But
Yeah.
it's challenging to kind of weed out through those genuine, sincere things, and that's what we try to do here and develop, you know, amongst the people that we have, you know. And so again, kind of through your experience, have you ever gotten to that point where it just becomes altruistic? You've made enough, you feel satisfied in the direction. There's always going to be work, you know, there's always going to be some new accomplishment, new success. But yeah, I've come to a point in my life where, you know, I've made a good amount of money. I could always make more, but it gets to a point where, you know,
You can write me a check if you want to feel like you're, you know, poor, you need something to happen.
Dan Counseling Services.
Yeah, right, exactly.
No, but what I mean is that you get to a point where you feel like you need to give back, you know. And I think Tony Robbins talks about, you know, spiritual growth, that sense of contribution, you know, fulfilling that spiritual sense. You know, I think you've made it in business, and I want to, I don't know if you feel the same way or you could share. I think you feel successful when you get to that point and you're really contributing back, regardless of how much money you make.
No, that's so true. I think everybody starts their career with work. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You have to learn something. You have to be good at something, or you got to have a vision for something. Once you have a vision, or you're joining other people that have a common vision, work just becomes great. You know, I don't even know if it's work. But to your point, you do come to a point where things are a little bit different. For me, in the past, I've always had businesses and they've had to grow. I just wanted nothing but speed. I wanted to go from one location to 30. No matter what I was doing, I wanted more. Now I'm at a stage where, you know, I don't want to be a public company. I don't want to be responsible to a lot of others or obligated to others for so many things. I just want to live a nice life. I want to do something that makes me feel good, that makes other people feel good. I want to do it really, really well, but I don't want to be a slave to the business. I want to enjoy the business. And I've done it all. I mean, no, sorry, my phone was ringing there. My apologies. I had a business brokerage firm that I started, and that brokerage firm, we built it to about 30 brokers. And it was all about small businesses. We were helping people buy and sell small businesses. So again, it all touched on this basic industry or the basic ideas that we're talking about. You know, that was bringing people together. That was a hard, hard job. And I wasn't satisfied with, I'm just going to do it myself, because I could have had myself and a partner, and we could have done a lot better. I mean, honestly, and it would have been a lot easier. But, you know, you have all these things in your head about how big you got to be. We got to be so macho, you know, que es more macho. And so anyway, but in this particular case, I was done with that. I was done with that. I just want to enjoy my life. I don't want work to run me, I guess you'd say. I want to be in control. So you do get to that point. You do get to that point.
So I think we still have a couple minutes. That's fine. But as far as like signing up, taking a tour, if you go to the website, I'm going to go ahead and pull that up now since I might have some internet still working, to reach out and go. Let me do this real quick.
So I guess maybe a good question is there a website or a page that
Yes.
Okay,
I can answer for Dan.
Sure.
I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, I have a question, and Robert was on top of it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really simple. You just go to workuity.com. It is WRKUITY, work and acuity, I guess, a smarter way to work, but you can put the meaning to it because it's made up. You can click on the top on a scheduled tour button, and you can, I'll be there, or one of my partners will be there to meet you and to show you the place. For those of you who actually want to see without actually going, you can click on the gallery link in our navigation, and you'll see virtual tours. So you can literally click in there and you'll get the opportunity to say, hey, let's see it from this particular spot. Let's click there. So if you just click on the kitchen, for example, just give it a click or a double click. Now you're walking in the space, and you can drop and drag just like you would a home. So you can really get a sense as to what it would be like. You can even go see your offices. So if there are people that I give a tour to and they are, well, I got to show it to my partner or my boss, I said, well, all right, let me know what it is you want to see exactly. I'll get you a shot, or I'll send you a VR tour that starts right at that office.
I found the beer taps.
You found the beer taps.
Hey,
So,
Kelsey, we can sit right here and have beer.
Exactly.
As the space, because I have seen other ideas that are like this, what sets your workspaces apart from other workspaces? I guess real quick.
The beer.
Sure.
I already answered.
Sure. And our other location, I don't think our VR tour is necessarily up quite yet, but ours has been different in that we always did start with the concept of letting people get together. We do have a little bit more of what you would call co-working. What you're looking at kind of right now are actually some of our dedicated desk areas. And those areas are great because you're there, you're together with others. And a lot of places really don't have that. That's been a big part of it. I mean, we're doing Wednesday events, not because people come and say, oh, I want to present to your people. So we have lunch and learns, we bring the lunch, but we want people to come in who are adding value, that are teaching our different members about things, and they gather together. And there's nothing better than that. And most don't do that. You know, you can call us homegrown, you can call us local, but you know, it is something very special, and it is something that we do. So I'd say that that's the biggest. And then you can see we're a little bit of a level of sophistication above the, you don't see a lot of sayings on the wall. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, let's make ourselves feel good, rah, rah. I'm actually very for that, but it also can take away from an environment that you have for your guests and, you know, for that sort of professional level. So you see a lot of different things. If you slide down, if you leave this show, let's just see what's underneath here in the gallery, because this is then what you're looking at here. This is a little bit of a slideshow in the evolution, because it has a lot of what's going on in Chandler. And again, you see a common sort of place to meet. Here you have great event space. This is a typical lunch and learn, and you can see what that turnout was. Now, what I really need is for COVID to go away, so we can get back to this level of social interaction. But these are terrific. I mean, they're just terrific. So what you're seeing also is everything from our company to Pandora, the music company. You get everything from big to small, and every kind of professional are in these units, and it's really so advantageous.
No, that's awesome. So we'll get back into that a little bit in just a second, but we do have to go to our next commercial break, Mr. Kite and Ms. Rogness. So hang in there, and we'll get back to you. So if you're still watching us, hang in there, because we do have a contest at the end of today's show. I forgot to mention that. Always missing something, always forgetting something. Sorry, Violet. I try. You know, I have to say a lot of mea culpas to Violet, not only professionally but personally too. So just hang in there. We'll get back to you guys in just a second.
I knew I had much more to share. I knew I had passion for more things. I believe in fitness, but I believe in much more than that. I didn't want to make it just about the body, but I want to make it about the mind and the spirit too. God has blessed me with a lot of energy and strength and fire. I can feel it in me, and to make others feel good. And I love doing that. No matter what happens, up or downs is part of the ride. That's how we become the person that we're meant to be. If we embrace life how it's supposed to be, that's how we can become the best versions of ourselves. Happiness is something that we can work from our internal work. Everything about the present moment or how beautiful everything can be when we actually embrace the moment. Lalita Wellness is a dream that we as human beings can be complete and happy if we concentrate in the priorities that we should concentrate. This is Lali Peña, owner of Lalita Wellness, and this is our CEO network. I feel awesome. I love it, love it, love it.
So thank you, Ms. Lalita, Lali Peña from Lalita Wellness for being our sponsor for today's show. Getting back to Mr. Kite and Workuity. Ms. Kelsey?
Well, let's see, what's the, I was gonna say, I'm like
Well, I'll
pumped
tell you
up
what, let
to
me tell
work
you
out
this.
now. I saw her video and I'm like, man, where are my weights?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
let me tell you this, what you just saw, I think is fantastic because it's about energy and it's about passion. So you find that passion, find that love. So
Right.
that was really good to see. I find those messages to be somewhat inspirational.
So Lolly, yeah, she's definitely an
Although it's
inspiration.
not going to get me to the gym.
We'll work on it soon. So we're in the last segment of our show today. So if you have those heart buttons, keep pushing them along. If you have any comments or questions, we'll take them after the show. But we're at towards the tail end of our segment. So this is basically an open answer Q&A, but we don't have an audience right now. So because of technical difficulties. But we'll continue the conversation. So really, it's just an open conversation now. We've gotten to know you a little bit, Dan. We've gotten to know a little bit about Workuity. Kelsey, do you have any questions for Dan that you've been dying to ask?
I mean, off topic of it, but still topic. Do you have like events or classes or even like live music, anything like that is at your space? Do you have
Sure.
that type of, free, fun, not even free? I mean, it doesn't matter. You tell me.
Yeah, hey, I mean, we put together cocktail hours. We put together parties during the holidays. You'll find live music at our place. We bring in mostly it's guitarists because you could literally, if you were coming in with a hard rock band, the entire neighborhood would be talking forever. We also we bring in food trucks. We've got a big courtyard. Food trucks come in, and when you're at work, actually those kind of things can be kind of cool. But I'll tell you, I again, COVID go away. Vaccine comes soon. We need it to go away because then our places get raucous.
Well,
So
I was going to say, Robert and I, we've been known to pick up a guitar and maybe a microphone. So
All
And
right.
embarrass ourselves incessantly.
Very nice. But do you need the words scrolling
Oh.
in front of you, or can you do it without the words?
Oh,
Scroll necessary?
I need
or-
words.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
it's like a fun thing, Robert and I, we started doing fun videos actually and music, and so that's kind of where the question comes from too. Is I've been around live music my whole life, and I just love that atmosphere. So it just kind of adds to that, like, wow, this is a cool place to be, and even after you're done with work, you don't have to just go to a bar or go somewhere else. You can stay there and socialize with those people and enjoy live music or have a Christmas party or something. And that's just a really cool idea, to me.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, those things are great. I love them too. Right now, it's a little bit different because you still have people working. People have to get things done. They need this great place to go. So it's very casual. When I say casual, I mean people aren't coming looking for intensity, right? Nobody's looking right now quite for the party. They want the connections. They want a great place to work. They want all the technology that we have and offer. But right now, the vibe is different. But it is still great. It's still casual. It's still a cafe. It's still wonderful. It brings all those pieces together.
Right.
But we're ready to party when we can.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to that.
Unfortunately, some of the
right
events.
now, hey, we've got a theater too. We got a little movie theater. So when there are events, Super Bowl, hey, we put up those events. We actually had a great experience a year ago or a year and a half ago. We had we showed live one of the fights that was going on. I want to say it was the Merriweather fight. And we filmed Facebook, and there were probably 50 members, maybe 60 members there. And we're moving the camera along. And at that very second, there was a knockout. I just happened to catch it on the screen. There was a knockout. So I'm like, oh, that was the most successful event ever. Wow, all of our members came. That was terrific. The only problem was about 3 months later, I got a letter from the collection people from the fight, the people who represent the fight, saying,
Yeah.
you were using this for public. And they threatened lawsuits. It's their game. It's just their game. And I had to pay something. I didn't pay a lot, but I'm like, it was still the best event.
Yeah,
we try to do that all the time.
At the restaurant that I was helping out at, they ran across the same thing. Everybody wants, their piece of the action.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But there's something about this, you know, we're a private group, right? We
Yeah.
weren't inviting the mass public. We were inviting all of our members and anybody they wanted to bring. It did happen to get very popular. Anyway, so that's what it's all about. Just
Yeah, and
bringing it together, but have a great office, have a great place to go, have a lot of fun. And people can do that, bring those people in themselves, but bring them into our theater, do what you got to do,
yeah,
make
and
your
that,
business better.
and that video that we showed for that highlighted you in your video, that was actually filmed in that little theater. We moved some of the chairs around. I mean, there's so many different places and spaces to work with, especially somebody in video production. You're always looking for something consistently changing. You're always looking for different, situation scenarios that you can, portray somebody in. So it's not always stagnant. One of the things that I dislike about my studio in here is that it's the same one all the time. I like the
It looks
anticipation.
terrible. Just kidding.
It's the blue
It's
light.
awesome.
It was the brown light I had on there.
I feel very, like it's the same feeling.
Yeah, that image behind you doesn't move at all. It seems like.
Similar decorative tastes, I guess.
But as a videographer, like I said, there's so many different little spaces and things that I could utilize. And then that was some of the questions I had, in the lease agreement that you'd sent over. Can I use some of those credits, outside of business hours? What kind of access do I get? Sometimes we do night shots, sometimes we do day shots, sometimes,
For
Sundays
you guys, we are 24/7 all the time, so you can bring people. But for you guys, you always just let me know what you need. I take care of you.
Oh boy, we're on record.
No need.
Violet,
No need to worry about those things.
Violet, write that down now. You better get it on
Yeah.
record. But as we have about 8 minutes left in the show today. Like I said, one of the things that I've always kind of admired about you, and that I wish I can get to know more, is just your mantra and your idea of consistently helping people. And when I walk into Workuity, Phil is there, is always greeting. The staff is always greeting people. So that's one of the things that, if there was a comment or I guess a good thing to say about Workuity, is that you feel very welcome there. And
Yeah.
I've been to other spaces. I've checked out like a Regis space, and they do have the greeting area, but then they have like the luncheon area that everybody's like cooking microwave meals and stuff. And it just the proximity of it always kind of put me off on those spaces. Where in Workuity, they have the lunch counter, but you have this vast space, this very comfortable workspace. Last time I was there, I even saw a gentleman. He must have, must be paying for a space. He had his kids there, and it looked like they were working on school stuff. So if there was a compliment to give, it's always feel comfortable when I walk in there, and always having a space to, second space to call home. And I think that's why we at RCO Network is kind of motivated to park our boat there.
Yeah. No, it's actually a great observation, because we built in an age, and we all live in an age right now that's not formal. We have kitchen great rooms. Well, we have a kitchen great room, and it's all opened, and it's meant to be opened, because that's how people gather. Why have these little spots, over here? Everything opens up to a kitchen. Everybody's coming to the same place. There's no money exchanging hands. Everything's included. It's just fun. But having that kitchen great room concept is fantastic. And you go into hotels these days and you see big open lobbies. They're not chopped up, right? They're kind of grand in nature. And I'm glad to hear that that's something that you've noticed, because it's very much on purpose. And I think it's I don't want to say it's modern, because I guess it was modern 10 years ago too, but that is the idea. We're not maximizing every square foot. If you go into one of our competitors, for example, like a WeWork, they once bragged that they're like the iPhone of workspaces. Well, that's great from their end, because what that means is they can fit as many components, as many people as humanly possible into the smallest space possible. And that's a victory for them. That's a well-designed space. We're the opposite. Maybe we should be looking to squeeze a few more dollars out with a few more offices, but the reality is, conceptually, that's how I compete. I compete by providing people this great open environment, not this little cubes, but I maximized the number of little cubes I could
Yeah.
get in.
So you're like the modern version of the razor.
I'll take that.
It looks nice. It's very pretty, but functional, gets the job done. Back when those
Right.
phones were around, they were utility, but you
Yep.
didn't. You got to play your games. You had what you needed. It wasn't too much.
Right.
Yeah, Kelsey's
Listen, this
in
is just, it's a utility plus, right? It's a great workspace first, and then it's a great environment and a great way to meet people and all that. But it starts that way. I mean, you still always have to have the great environment. Who wants to go to a dingy old hotel just because it's laid out well?
Criminal Minds episodes for that.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to dingy hotels.
I want to go build a few of these maybe in Salt Lake City, so I have an excuse to go there. I want an excuse to go to some other beautiful places, create these environments. I meet people at them. I made so many friends from our places, I can't even tell you.
So shotgun question, both to you and Kelsey. Since you said you nerd out a little bit, Dan, your go-to online game.
Well, right now, actually, I am addicted to the new Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Oh boy!
I'm actually sitting. I've got full on gear. I've got yokes. I've got throttles. I got it all set up here. That's just a momentary thing because, to be honest with you, I'm a news junkie. I mean, to an unhealthy extent. There was a debate here, as you know, last night, a presidential debate. And I got to tell you, I walked away sick. I was nervous going in. I was really nervous going out. But I pay a lot of attention, way too much attention to that sort of thing. So I am using my computer a lot for that. I also owned a computing center. So I actually built a network. I've used technology a lot.
I'm more of a classic Sims. Well, the new Sims, but it's like the old version. That's my go-to.
The Sims are still around?
They are.
And they
I
have
actually have to admit, I got a Clash of Clans problem too.
Oh yeah, hey,
it's a little bit of an addiction.
That is mine. Where's my iPad?
Yeah, it's no good. You tell me what clan you're in after this show. But I got to tell you that's been a problem lately. But you run in streaks.
I don't know if I want to tell you my clan. It's a little bit racy, but I'll tell you offline.
Right. Well, anyway, I'm happy to have anybody who's hearing this or network, have them come on in, spend a day, just, use your name, work at our space for a day. We'll take care of you, no pay or anything. Check us out. So,
awesome.
I'm happy to do that for people. Or if you need a conference room hour, let's do that too.
Well, that's a good segue because we have one more announcement to make. Actually, two more, but I'll take liberties going there. So if you want to market your business here with us at Our CEO Network, we create your marketing videos, offer you social media support, and highlight you at our events, such as today's Zoom call. Instant messages here at Facebook at Our CEO Network for more details about becoming a sponsor and different marketing opportunities. So like I did say, I did promise a giveaway with today's show. So with that giveaway,
it's like an opportunity though, right? This one.
Oh. This is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and
share.
Let
me help you help me.
Let me help you help me help us help.
There you go. There you go. There's the correction. Apparently my clan is being attacked.
Oh, where's my phone? So the contest today is share your story. So we constantly look for entrepreneurs and small businesses to share their story. We are interested in learning how you grew and developed. So if you want to share your story, go ahead and send us an email at info@ourceonetwork.com. The winner who has the best story, the best small business coming out of the trenches and being successful, we want to hear about it. So if you want to go ahead and send us like a 2-3 page story, because we're going to be reading a lot. You win. The winner will be announced December 1st. They will be the recipient of a free professional video, like one of the ones you saw today in today's show. I'll also get a Zoom interview here, like we're doing with Mr. Kite, and also 1 month of social media support just for sharing your story. So we anticipate a lot of people putting in their stories with us. And if you are the winner, like I said, you'll be winning a lot of good content and a lot of support for the next 3 months. Because that's what we do.
I have a couple people in mind of that are friends on my Facebook that I've seen their posts on Facebook with their stories, and there's so many great stories out there. Can't wait to share it with them because I'd love to see a couple people, get the chance to have a video and be on social media with, the support and do a live interview with us because it's just interesting people.
Yeah, and there are going to be some stipulations, but we'll post those. But an exciting new thing that we're going to be offering because it is COVID and we want to continue to be a support out there. So go ahead and spit your stories, info@ourcnr.com. Mr. Kite, you get the final word. You get to share whatever it is you're going to share, and I'm going to go ahead and post your information if people contact you.
Hey, I'm going to stick to my Facebook strategy. I've shared what I'm going to share. You've got what I have to offer. But anyway, no, thank you guys so much for having us. This has been such a fun, and I've done some things with this group before, so do submit because it's a lot of fun, and what you're getting is sincerity and just a lot of good things. So I'm with you guys, whatever I can do to help, and for you in the audience, definitely take them up on the offer.
Well, definitely appreciate that, sir. And so Workuity, Dan Kite, thank you for showing up. Kelsey Rugnes for being co-host. Appreciate you. And we'll see you all next time.